Okay, so we're back here. So last video we worked on the generator and stuff, and when we went to go get ready to test to see if we could power sentry guns, we of course had an issue. We're going to go ahead and fix that. The issue is that our slots aren't validating properly. And I was in the middle of doing this, and I went ahead and decided that the video time was a little too long. So we're going to sort of work on this. And kind of just working on breaking this method down to make it easier to read. So we want, if ammo type equals null, we want to return true real quick. And then we want an else statement, which we then want to make sure that this isn't null. And then we can do this part. Right now we're just kind of just making this readable. As we had a very long method that was more or less just kind of junk. Bit of a pain to work your way through. Okay, that's good. Okay, we need an extra bracket. Cool. So this should be easier to read now, and we can sit there and debug what's going on here. Well, we know exactly what's wrong, at least on the issue is that for some reason the ammo data came out null, and it shouldn't have been null, so we're going to have to fix that itself. That is part of Armory, I believe, and it's the magazines for some reason are not working the way they're supposed to. For some reason, ammo data is returned null. And we need just something really simple for this. I'm trying to think of how to do it precisely. What I'm thinking we could do is we could just go Armory data handler instance dot get ammo. Yeah, actually this might not work. Yeah, that won't work. I hate the load get ammo stored every single time, but it may be how I have to do it. So yeah, stack ammo data. Yeah, get ammo stored. Get stored ammo. So if ammo, oh come on, ammo doesn't equal null, and then we want to do ammo.peak, if not return null. So no matter what, there's going to be a possibility that's going to be returned null. And why did that do set texture name? Could have swore I hit tab when it said stack. So that'll fix that being null. To be honest, we need to get an is clip check, but this will solve it temporarily. It won't be perfect though, but it would work. Go ahead and synchronize that data while I'm at it. I'll probably edit a few things. Stage all. It's a potential possibility that I added that and never tested it, which is highly likely, but I doubt it. And then, commit that. I forgot to push on both of these. So prefabs. Always remember to do the push thing, and there's probably like a way to make it push automatically. Make sure we don't have anything in Volts engine. Apparently we had a test fail. Why? Whatever. I'm gonna remove that line. I don't know what I was thinking that needed to return the same value every single time. Probably because there's probably something in the design doc I made originally that was supposed to be null. Oh well. So yeah, push. And we'll let that push real quick. Cool. Make sure there's no changes to the API. Cool, there's none. And then we go back to the condition here. And of course, we've been working on this for a while. Let's go ahead and just stage this. There's actually a couple more things I did on that run, but is it running here? I think. Nope. Run, debug. Yeah, almost done with this. We'll get the generator running, which it pretty much is. We just got to test to see if it's powering things. Once it's powered, then we can pretty much call it on that for the moment. We just got to come back here eventually and polish everything, and then give it to the client. And then we go back to working on SCBM and making all kinds of cool little things. I'm going to get it updated rather quick because I do want to add a lot more content to it here. Probably seen on Patreon and stuff, I've talked about doing elevators and missile racks and various little fun things that will improve the way you store and fire missiles. I do need to start working on the impact sensors again so we can start working on that stuff. So much content I want to add to that mod. So little time. That's not just that mod too, it's like assembly line. I plan to do full auto factories for it, basic industries, modular machines. Eventually I want to get back to working on my robotics. I want to get a neural network into Minecraft so we have AIs that are intelligent. You guys would be completely screwed over if I put a neural network on a skeleton. Because it would be able to predict what you're doing. That's how messed up that would be. So you got the skeletons, which people think are intelligent right now. Skeletons right now are basically just walking sentry guns. They just randomly walk around. If they see you, they follow you, and they fire arrows. I could make a little RC toy that did the same thing with an infrared camera, and it would only probably take 100 lines of code to run. It's pretty much what a skeleton is. Skeleton's about 100, 200 lines of code to do that. It's not super intelligent. There's nothing really complicated about it. But with a neural network, I could make it truly intelligent. And in the relative terms of video games, because we're talking true intelligence in terms of AIs, it's still not truly intelligent, as I would need a general AI, and I'm going to not do that in Minecraft. Because one, it needs a lot of computing power to work, and then two, there's no benefit. While there is a benefit I could probably think of, it would be kind of cool to have a general AI that would act as a nemesis. So he'd be the guy controlling all the monsters and stuff fighting you. Later down the road, maybe like 4 or 5 years, I might make a server that has a general AI that plays against you, but it would probably be a game of its own because I would not rate that in Java because Java is cool, it runs well. I need it to run amazingly to pull that off. There we go, that's working now. Okay, that's a Sentry gun. I need ammo. Ammo! Cool, we have ammo now. I want to say we're powered. Or else this would not be in search mode. It said it would be out of power. So let's get some slimes here. Oh yeah, that's right. Options, PC. Dead slime, dead slime. Yeah, this client Sentry gun, by the way, does like squat for damage. It's intentional though. We need to fix the render bounds on the thing I'm standing on top of. Because if you notice, if I do like this, it disappears. Yeah, it's something that needs to be fixed on all of my stuff. It's working though. I just don't know if it's getting powered. I mean, it's going to run out of fuel in like a second or two, so we're going to find out. I may not have finished the power system for it. Yeah, we're definitely out of. Well, no, we're not. We're still ticking there. I guess. Ooh. Pause. What are we looking at here? A packet provided an invalid or missing ID. Tile power generator. Okay. We're getting spammed by broken packets. I don't know what's going on there. Because the only thing we're sending is a description packet, and a description packet should always work. Okay, I'm in the wrong thing. I'm sitting here going like, where's this code I'm looking for? And my brain just like, oh, well, we're in the complete utter wrong file. Yeah, because the only thing we're doing is we're sending a description packet here, and unless this is foobarred, it could be though. I doubt it's a problem because then this would definitely error out. Okay, hit play. The problem with it doing this is there is some debug I do want to see, and we're getting like spammed by it's got to be this that's doing it too, because okay, description packet, go back in, okay. Yeah, there's a cleanup protocol that's missing. Shoot. Okay, what we need to do is we need to go, okay, for entity player get players using. We're gonna go, okay, if, oh wait, we don't do it this way. We need an iterator. Yeah, we're missing our cleanup protocol, which is not running. This needs to actually be an it. Get players using iterator. Well, the reason for calling this an it, by the way, is just it's just how I do it. You don't actually have to do that. But we're making iterator. By the way, for loops are iterators. That's basically how they function. They just nobody really pays attention to that. But the reason why we're using an iterator is in the for loop you can't remove objects, but in an iterator you can. To some extent, there is limitations to this. I'm not going to go over those, but when we go if next get open container is an instance of container PowerGen. So we want to go basically, if you don't have a power generator open, it.remove. If you do have a power generator open, so we're going to go like else if next.open container dot inventory, not inventory, host. Okay, we need to cast this to our power generator container. Container PowerGen dot host. Can I get the inventory maybe? No. We're not going to be able to access this right now, but what we need to do is we go, okay, to do if container is open, check it matches this tile. It's going to be rare that you're ever going to have a problem like that, because if somebody closed the container, it's going to be closed. But this will remove anybody that's open right now. But what's happening is it's trying to send a packet to the local that is not going to be received. Okay, see all that error is cleaned up? As soon as I fixed it, they're gone. So now we can see things like we don't have a ray trace running. Yeah, I know, roundfire ray trace, I still gotta add that. Though, is I want to see how you're working. Okay, so that tile is not being powered, but we do want to check to see if it is at least functioning. It's taking about 16 microseconds to run, which is good. Cool. So we can remove our debug code, because we know this is running in really good time. Now we want to check to see if it actually is working. Well, I can't check that, because that's probably been removed. Well, I can't check that either? Why does I need to reload? I can check that though. There we go. I said to reload. Okay, so we want to get all of our tiles. We have 2 tiles in range. Okay, we got a tile wrapper. And that's our power generator, which is what we're currently looking at. And we got a Sentry gun. Okay, what is our supported tile? Okay, so we want to hit this line here. And we want to rerun this again. Okay. So we need this right here. So we're going to go string class name. And because I'm probably going to have to edit that class name, like I noted in a couple videos ago that there could be an issue with that. So we'll hit play again and go down. Yeah, no, there's not actually. Tile Sentry client. Why are you? Oh, that makes sense. That actually makes total sense. So if you're running single player, this is actually a different name. It's total. I need to add client into that. So I mean that would work. I just have to restart it now. And while we restart, we're gonna just go ahead and check on why the Sentry over there is not working. I think it's really simple what the problem is, so we'll have to just check on it real quick. You don't check power, do you? So it'll be the Sentry that does its own power. Okay. So we got a powered down state. Okay, we have a running state. This is a debug state. Where is the power check at? Reloading, targeting. Okay, let's look at the tile Sentry, make sure it's not in here. Get Sentry, okay, here's the spawning it, here's setting in position, here's sending description packets, here's the GUI system. That's the old GUI system, by the way. So it's got to be in here. I'm not seeing it though, because this is debug code. Here's our actual AI code. Reloading state, targeting state, firing state. Okay, so, and we want to do running. Okay. So what we actually want to do is we're going to go like this, because we need to inform what's going on. So there's like a state system that does function, and this will be no power. And then what we're going to do is right before the debug, actually, you know what, we're going to just move this real quick. I'm going to take us all the way to the bottom. And we're going to do protected void do debug lasers. Put that there. And we'll bring it all the way back up here, and we'll put it right there. Runs debug. To be honest, the run debug lasers need to run no matter what, because I want to see what the thing's doing even when it's not functional. Okay. We now need to do our power code. So we want to go if Sentry data dot get power cost is greater than 0. If it's not, so if we have a 0 value, then just running equals true, because you don't have any power to worry about. Let me make sure that this is actually, it's -1. Yeah, that's cool. So then we want to go, okay, get energy buffer forge direction dot unknown. This would be I energy buffer equals this. If buffer doesn't equal null, then you want to go, okay, int. Actually, we don't do it that way. We're going to go and buffer dot remove energy from storage, and we want to get energy cost, and we would do it false, and then we want to do true. So false, I believe that's how we want to do it. Yeah, do action, so we don't want to do the action, is greater or equal to get energy cost. Then we want to just rerun that same check here again, but we want to run true, and right before we run it true, we want to turn running mode to true. So we want to go, okay, running equals true. So what you're doing is you're consuming power each tick to ensure the sentry gun is running, so if it does have a power demand, which is what our sentry gun has, then it's going to run each tick. Okay, so that's going to fix that. Hopefully it doesn't break any of our sentry guns. Although, to be honest, most sentry guns will have power demand. But there'll be things like you can put batteries in them, or you can put like solar panels on them. There'll be upgrades later. There'll be ways to make your sentries like autonomous, so you don't have to worry about running supplies to them. There'll be integration for things like applied energistics. There'll be like wireless integration, so you could just teleport items and batteries to them. Of course, those modules are going to be really costly, so you got to weigh your cost ratio, because for the cost of some of these modules, you could have just easily put like an IC2 solar panel behind the sentry gun and then power the sentry gun that way. You could have also, if you're worried about power cost of sentry, what you could also do is have the sentry in an off mode and then have a detector nearby that detects for, say, a player, and then turns the sentry gun on, so that way you're not consuming power all the time. And the detector could be something as simple as a redstone detector. There's a lot of inventive ways to do it. I'm going to add as much support as possible so you guys can be as creative as possible. Because personally, one of my favorite ways to do sentry guns is to do piston traps. So that way you'll be walking down a tunnel and all of a sudden a piston door will open up at the end of the tunnel and all of a sudden there's an anti-tank gun at the end and you're now dead. Because I don't care what armor you're wearing, if you get hit by a round that does 1,000 damage on impact, you're dead. Especially when that round is made of antimatter. If you ever run through my base, pay attention to what the hallway is made out of. If you start getting in a hallway and the hallway all of a sudden transitions from normal stone to like reinforced concrete, you're about to walk into a trap. I do not apologize. I love traps. When I used to PvP, my #1 way to actually kill people was traps. I didn't do sentry guns a lot actually. Some of my #1 ways to actually kill people were robotic arms that would grab you and just toss you in lava. Because there's not a lot you can do about that, because you can't get away from the robotic arm quick enough before it just plummets you into lava. And there's other ways to do that. Like I had a plasma trap one time we did. That one took a bit of effort to get to work properly, because if it failed, it would destroy the robotic arm, but it would drag you into a chamber, and then the chamber would close, and then it would vent with plasma. And of course, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, because there's not a lot of mods that protected you from plasma. After all, it's about the temperature of the sun, so a magic fire-resistant potion would not really help you. You would go from being crispy bacon, or you'd go from being dust to crispy bacon, so your body would survive, but you'd still be dead. What was the other traps we did? We did a lot of the animal traps, you know, the ones where they did the pressure plate and then trap-doored you. Those are some of the easiest ones to prevent detection on. Okay, so you're getting no power now. So it is functioning properly. So now what we want to do is we want to determine a couple things here. One, we need to make sure this thing's running, and I need something that's got like huge volume on it here, because putting one bucket in here at a time is tedious. But we are going to just quickly check to see if we hit supported tiles. Okay, so this is a supported tile, and we go in here, and we got to do our little fun thing. Receive energy, get handler. It failed to find a modular. Shoot. Yeah, we're just dumping max energy in here. It failed to find a modular though, which is kind of weird. So it's this line that's not working. The universal energy system is not well tested. I have to admit this. We just don't have a lot of machines that need power. We've been building a lot of machines that just do not care. Is handler, so we're going to go down here. We want to check to see if we contain it, if it's an item stack. No. Okay, then we want to load up the modulars. We may just not have a modular set up for... I like how the handler just has a number on it. Did we accidentally pass in a number instead of... What did we do here? Yeah, we did. That's the reason it's not working, is we passed it in ticks. That's hilarious. Oh man, that is absolutely hilarious. Okay, rerun. That would definitely not validate as a handler, no matter what we would do. There we go, it found it. It found the RF handler, which is not quite what we wanted, but it works though. Hey, it's powered. Yeah, cool. This is working, it's doing its job. Now we just gotta make sure we get some fuel in here. I do need to finish up his sentry gun eventually. It's functional, it's running, but you notice it just kind of spewing fire out as a particle effect. I need to fix that. I think its center of gravity still needs to be adjusted, because I believe its center of gravity is right at the base right here right now, and it actually needs to be somewhere in the middle, so that way when it fires the shots, they come out of the barrel rather than coming out really low down here where they're at. It's not really something that's hugely noticeable as long as it's somewhere on this end is where the bullets come out. And you've noticed it does have a reload mechanic. It's sitting there reloading ammo right now. Oh, I ran out of power actually. Ran out of power in the middle of a reload cycle. Ironic. Hopefully it reloads actually. Here, we'll put power back in here. Cool, it reloaded. I wonder if that's actually the render that did that. 67. Sit here and watch it for a couple seconds. Make sure it reloads properly. Put a whole bunch of slimes in front of it. Need to get some audio for it too. I like this debug we got about. By the way, if people keep asking this, like, why is there that up there? It's debug. It doesn't actually work in the final version. There is plans, however, to maybe do glasses or something that you can see this as the owner of the sentry gun. That way you could look across your battlefield and go, okay, oh, that sentry gun over there is out of ammo. I'd probably call them engineer glasses. TF2 reference, pretty much. Okay, it's out of power again. There is a render state failure with the power check. So, what happened there? I mean, it's not too big of a deal if it does that, but... Oh, it's because the Sentry has ammo check. Okay. We're going to do the Sentry has ammo check in here, so we're going to reset. So reset power state. Check if we have power and consume power. And then this will be reset ammo state. Trigger reload if we have no ammo. If reloading, if not, Sentry has ammo. That should fix it. Actually, let's go ahead and we're going to put this outside the run method. If I can get it highlighted. There we go. That way it's going to run the has ammo check continuously, and we don't have to worry about it just derping on us like it's doing right now. Because then if I come back in here, it'll fix the ammo, but it still says it has no power. But then our ammo's rendering. So now we just got to make sure that that stays fueled, and we're probably going to have to recode this to not consume 1 millibucket per tick, but like maybe 1 millibucket every couple of ticks. I'll have to talk to the client about what he wants. I just saw that collide with a sentry gun and take damage. F3B. That was weird. There's 2 collision boxes there. Odd. Also, our thing's almost in the right render position. We'll go ahead and fix that, and we'll call it this video. Because our generator is working now. So we know it's functional. We just got to get a render of the tank in here, and that's not really priority because the client is not really paying for it, to be honest. And it's just I'm adding it just because I want to get the code working for it. I'm doing it more for myself rather than him. Our sentries are powered now, so our generator is fully functional. And we just need to do fuel now, and we just need to really quickly fix the generator thing. I gotta go test all his weapons here in a second. So I'll do 0.6 on that. Probably should fix it because that'll bring it down another 0.2, and then we'll get it positioned properly. So go ahead and save and quit here, and yeah, just call it end on this video, and I'll be back.